is up, everybody? Welcome back to UFSU, where I'm going to be giving you a deck profile on Azwel today. So this is the deck and character that I played at the Rockford PTC. I finished 2-2-3, so not particularly amazing, but fine as far as competitive goes. Azwel is a 6-hand size, 31 health character that says, E, your attack, your opponent discards the top 3 cards of their deck. If there were no attack cards discarded this way, they mill 5 more and you draw a card. He also says, E, commit 1 foundation, your opponent discards the top 3 cards of their deck. If all of them share the same control, this attack gets +6 or -6 damage. So basically he just draws a lot and he mills them out. This is an all-wall deck that aims to mill them with Fatality and Irradiate and other good attacks. So we'll start with the assets and the actions. I play 3 Fiddlesticks, because this card is hilariously broken with Fatality in this deck. I had multiple games where I would just go on a Fatality rampage and just play 7 of them in one turn, and people would scoop to me on turn 2. So this card says E, twice per turn, destroy ready foundation to draw a card, and then I can stack one of my momentum on top of my deck. So basically what I do is I play Fatality, resolve Fatality, play another Fatality, stack my Fatality, draw it, and I just keep doing this pretty much over and over every turn. I can pick my Fatalities up with Irradiate and such as well. So this is one of the main engines of the deck. On to the actions. I play 3 Let's Cut Loose. This deck is basically mono 6 checks, so this card, or this control check right here, is really clutch, in addition to Let's Cut Loose just being an insane card. It's a 3-diff 6 check action. E, remove, add 1 foundation from your discard pile to your hand, or from your card pool to your staging area and draw a card. So basically when you enhance with this card, it's just Pot of Greed. Except one of the cards you get is Selective, which is, to be honest, pretty absurd in like any card game. Not even just UFS. Effects like this are always just insane. I play 3 copies of Templar. This card is kind of the same function as Let's Cut Loose. It's a 1 mid-block, 3-diff, 5-check that says R after you block with this card. Draw 2, gain 2. So basically it's just a Pot of Greed that gains me 2 when I block with it, which is pretty nuts. This card has pretty much always been good under all of its symbols. It's kind of falling off though, which is sad to see, because this card's still insane. It just has to fight for all of the action slots it gets. On to my attacks now. I play 3 Death Knell. This card is basically just a way to pick up Fatality. It's a 6-diff, 0 high block, 2-check with Breaker 1, EX 2, Powerful 3 that says R card pool twice per turn. After you discard any number of momentum, I can add 1 card from my hand to my momentum. So it's decent momentum gen if there's like something I want to stack and can pick up later, or if I'm actually trying to kill them with Death Knell, it's pretty good. Because like this deck can get to like 5-6 momentum and just randomly blow someone up. It also says E, discard 1 momentum, add the top card of my discard pile to my momentum. So basically, I just play a Fatality and then I play this, discard the Fatality to pick it back up. So like this just is another combo extender. And we play 1,000,000 6-checks, so the odds of us actually checking a 6 on this are really good. And like, even if we don't check a 6, we're likely not checking an attack because we only run 14. I play 4 Radiates. This card says basically add a Fatality to my hand or add a spam to my hand. So basically E, add 1 card from my discard pile to my hand with a printed difficulty of X or less, where X is the number of characters in my staging area. So it's a 5-diff 2i for 5 with a 2i block that just does that, just picks up a Fatality. I can stack it with Fiddlesticks to redraw it and pick up another Fatality if they let it touch them, which normally they do. People see this deck and see that it's trying to mill them, and they just typically eat your attacks to the face, which is why sometimes you can just randomly blow them out. onto the best 4 cards in the deck. I play 4 Fatalities. This card is nuts. It says it is a 0 diff, 0 mid for 0, 1 mid block, 3 check, safe taunt, combo fatality. This card cannot deal damage, and my opponent cannot play abilities during this attack, and after it resolves I can add it to my momentum. So basically, I use the R on it, which is after you play this card, I name a card, and I remove all copies of that card from my opponent's discard pile. So I remove it, and then I say I'll do all my enhances during this enhance step, and you can't do anything. I'll shove it, I'll bring it back with Fiddlesticks, I'll play it again, and just you rinse, wash, and repeat until your opponent is milled out, pretty much. Or until they have no attacks and they just scoop. I play 3 Nutcrackers. This card is a Breaker 2 mid block that also randomly draws me 2 cards sometimes. Yet again, another Pot of Greed. So basically what happens is I add 1 foundation from my discard pile to my card pool and draw a card. And then I Azwel and have them mill the 3, and then if it hits, I draw another 1. So basically I draw 2 off this card sometimes, which is really good. It also can randomly kill them. It gets 4 damage if they are a male character, and it also has EX3, so like, sometimes it just kills them. I play 3 one-ofs. 3? Play 2 one-ofs, I guess. But anyways, I play 1 Symphony of the Deep, which is a 4 diff foundation with a 3 high block, 5 check that says F, remove, discard X cards, draw X cards. E, your attack, commit, seal 1 card in your opponent's card pool, and 1 foundation in your opponent's staging area. So, basically, this just lets me steal problem cards in their card pool or in their staging area when I'm trying to go in, like asset hate, stuff like that. It also digs me for fatalities and other pieces I need to see, which is the more relevant part. Now, I also play 1 We Are Many, You Are But One. So this deck is, like I said, basically mono 6 checks. So basically this says E 6+, your opponent discards 1 momentum, which is very easy for me to check. I play, I believe, 28 6 checks. So most of the time, this card's passing when I'm trying to make them discard a momentum. So it's really good momentum hate. On to Well-Earned Relaxation. This is a 3 diff, 1 high block with a 6 check that says E, destroy this attack, gets -3 damage. It also says R once per turn. After your opponent removes any number of cards from the top of their deck, they remove an additional card, playable while committed, which, for those who don't know, this also works when your opponent cycles. So basically, after they cycle, you can respond to make them remove an additional card since they removed cards from the top of their deck. It's also just a 1 high with Breaker 1 that I can pick up off of Let's Cut Loose. It also says -3 damage sometimes. So like basically the entire point of this deck is just to be tanky enough to mill them out and then just survive game 2 and win off of you winning game 1 in time. Which is admittedly kind of a flawed plan, but it works. I think it works. On to Mushroom Experimentation. This is a 3 diff, 6 check, 2 mid block. E, commit your character. Both players discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. So this is like the weirdest form of mill. If we're really desperate to mill them out, we can commit our character to have them discard 2 and draw 2 cards. It also says E, destroy, discard 1 card with a printed control of 6. This attack has its damage reduced to 1, which is actually insane in this deck. And actually insane with Let's Cut Loose. Because you just pick up a 6 check. Oh man, I'll discard the 6 check. I don't need to make this attack have 1 damage. On to probably the second best card in the deck. Telekinetic Mastery when you're playing 28 6 checks. So basically, this card says R, check a 6. After my opponent's attack, or after my opponent increases the speed or damage of their attack, it gets -2 speed or damage. So basically, every time they increase something, let's say they give it 1/1, oh sick, I'll respond twice. You give it a speed and a damage. And it's just like, man, I punish you super hard for giving you these small bonuses to your attack, especially in multiples. Like, once I get this card in multiples, any deck that relies on just small plus chip damage, they're just not going to deal damage anymore, pretty much. Just because of the amount of 6s I have in this deck. This is my other one of. I play One Curious Magnetism. It says, E, opponent's attack, commit, switch this attack's speed and damage values. So basically, they're just like, oh man, this is a 10 mid for 30. Sick, I'll make it a 30 mid for 10. It's just really good when your opponent's attacks are so beefy that you don't want to deal with them, but they have like lower speed, and so you're just like, man, I'll switch speed and damage. Or vice versa. If it's really fast, but for not a lot of damage, you can make it for a lot of damage and not really fast. Play 3 Commander of Outworld's armies. In retrospect, if I were to take any foundation out of this deck, it would definitely be this one. As it turns out, this deck blocks a lot, so every time I wanted to use this card, I had no reason to. It's so much easier for me to actually just block than use this card. Although it is pretty good foundation control. It says R, flip after you take 4 more damage from an unblocked attack. Flip one of your opponent's foundations, and the next attack this turn gets -2 damage. So it's good foundation control. It's decent DR. It's a 3 mid block with breaker 1 on a 2/5. So like, it's fine. But if I were to revise the deck, that would definitely be the first foundation I took out. Just in case any of you wonderful viewers built this deck. I play 4 Serving the Outworld. This says E, check a 6 for +2 or -1 damage on an attack. It also says R, commit after your opponent plays a form ability on a non-character card, cancel its effects. So basically, this is another form of DR. It's also a form of pump if I actually need to kill them. Because, like, man, I'll check this 6 for 2 damage. That's actually an adequate amount of damage for free. So, on to the next one. Also, like a 6 check, yet again, a million of them. I play 2 Sense of Morals. If anything were to come up in this deck, it would definitely be this card. I definitely should have been running 3, but I was not. So, I definitely got punished a few times for just not having this card when I was trying to play a Nutcracker or something. I play 4 Orphaned Alchemist. This card is a 1/6 with a 2 low block that says E, flip, reveal the top card of your deck. R, flip after your opponent plays an ability on a non-character card that would remove any number of cards from your deck or discard pile from the game, or would cause any of them to leave from your deck or discard pile. You cancel it and draw a card. So, yet again, it's a 6 check spam that sometimes does relevant things. I play 3 Fallen Master. This is the 6 check from the Ryu vs. Chun-Li starter decks. It says E, commit. This attack gets -1 speed and -1 damage. It is a 1 diff with a 2 high block and a 6 check. So a decent block, good check. Has a semi-relevant ability sometimes, especially with Gauge existing in the meta. Randomly giving -1 is actually marginal. I play 4 Arranging a Deal. This is, yet again, another 1/6 with a decent block that has a semi-relevant ability sometimes. It says Desperation E, flip, draw card. So, sometimes when they actually do beat my ass, gotta draw cards. I play 3 Feifeis. This is our spam and our speed hate, part of it at least. It says E, flip for -3 speed on a 1 diff 5 check with a 3 low block. On to Gora's Victory Pose. I play 3. This is basically just for action hate against decks that actually use them. So, like, decks that play Bang, decks that play Stop, decks that play Covert Intent, because that card Definitely played against that card, and this definitely did a lot. It just says E flip, no actions. So, on a 1 diff spam with a 3 low block, it's not bad. On to the final card of the deck, which is our 0 diff spam Profane Sanctuary that says enhance, both players mill 2. It's got a 3 high block and a 5 check. It also says R flip after your opponent plays a breaker ability. Cancel it. Alright everybody, this has been Travis from UFSU with an Azwel deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the content, and if you did, go check us out on the Discord, on Patreon, and on YouTube. Thank you, and sayonara.